Well, hello everyone. Well, before I tell you what I'll be talking about tonight, let me explain why. Why I'll be talking about frameworks and tools. We're using only 20% of what we perceive to see reality, while 80% of the reality we see comes from our genes, parents, past, and mindset. You see, our senses gather around 11 million bits of information per second from the environment. Yes, that's 10 and 6 zeros of units of information per second. Yet, the conscious mind is able to process only around 100 bits per second. We're actually living on autopilot most of the time. Uh, 50 years ago, we believed that our brain works like a computer and doesn't change. But in fact, it's a pattern seeking neural network, and it changes and rewires every time we learn something new. One of the most impressive things happened when they measured the brain activity with EEG while doing a complicated task. Uh, they compared the brain activities of someone who was doing it the first time versus someone proficient with it. While EEG was on fire in the first case, it was silent in the later. Our brain represents around 2% of body size and weight, but consumes around 20% of the energy. It's exceptionally metabolically expensive and would be even more if it wouldn't establish countless shortcuts. Uh, that's why we like to know things up front. We want to have structures, clear paths, templates, or even better, unconscious habits. Alan Watts once shared three simple yet profound elements: clarity, action, and faith. Together, they form an unbeatable framework for achieving almost anything. Here's why. Clarity. You can't reach your destination if you don't know where you're going. No dream, no result. Action. Dreams without action are just wishes. Even small steps create big momentum. And faith. Belief fuels persistence. It makes you keep going even if success isn't visible yet. And tonight, I'll share three frameworks I use to gain clarity, three tools that will drastically improve your actions toward your goals, and three examples you can use to improve the most challenging part of Alan Watts' framework, faith. But before we dig in, something to start on the high heels. If this can happen to Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix legions, and loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, then we, sad mortals, stand no chance. I don't quite agree, and obviously you do too, as you are here. So let's go to the three frameworks for clarity. Because without clarity, your goals are just guesses. You need to see your direction clearly, even if you don't see the destination yet. Now, clarity transforms obstacles. Instead of them, you can focus on what's possible. And the first framework for setting goals is SMART. S is for specific. A general goal would be get in shape. A specific goal would say join a fitness club and work out 3 days a week. Even better is join a fitness club and work out every Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. M, measurable. Make your goal make sure that your goal is trackable. Don't use excuses like, I will get in shape, it will build my brand, it will build increased influence or make more engagement or things like that. A, attainable. They say you should work towards a goal that is challenging but possible. R, relevant. Be sure it makes sense for you personally and professionally and improve you or your business in the way it's important to you. And T, time bound. Give yourself a deadline. Don't say, I'll achieve it someday. Well, I don't like the A part of this framework. What does attainable even mean? Uh, let's check one perspective. How much is it easier to grow? 10% or 10x? At Google, they discussed that 10x growth can actually be easier. Why? Because when you're aiming for a 10% increase, you're doubling down the existing skills, tools, and assumptions. It just adds workload and stress. For 10x, you'll have to learn new skills, find shortcuts, and leverages. Larry Page, co founder of Google, commented on this subject. If you're not doing some things that are crazy, then you're doing the wrong things. Well, that's why I came with the WOW framework. W is for what you want. Look for 3 years ahead. Give yourself total freedom. Forget about the how, forget about the limitations. If the sky is the limit, what would you want to have in 3 years? And even more importantly, who do you want to become in 3 years? Or let me put it in another way. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? That's the first step, a really important one. Take time to define it. You can take weeks to really nail it. Uh, the last of the three frameworks I'll discuss might help you with this. After you do that, there's the O, the obstacles. Write down all the obstacles and limiting beliefs so you can work on them. Then A, actions. Make a list of 30 actions you can do on a daily basis that take you a step towards that goal. 30 actions. From that, every evening, you pick and write down 3 things you're going to do the next day. Just 3 things. And the first thing should be the most important. And you should do at least the first one of them tomorrow. So you'll make at least a small progress towards your vision every day. H, humdrum. The first part, the W, what you want was the most critical step because you need the right direction. If you're speeding 90 miles per hour down the dead end street, you're doomed. Agree? You could feel that obstacles and actions are also highly relevant, and they are. But the last step is the difference maker. That's where the most people fail. Humdrum. The word is objective. The definition is lacking excitement or variety, boringly monotonous. Boringly monotonous, which is frustrating for us humans. We are seeking excitement. We are seeking new things, new ideas that spike our adrenaline and make our blood float. Those new, bright, shiny objects. And that's why we fail, because we are chasing that new rabbit every time we see it, instead of chasing the previous one, the third one, the one we have a chance to catch. You have to be like a post stamp. If any of you could still remember the act, when you lick the post stamp and glue it on the physical letter, when you put the post stamp on the letter, it's on there until it arrives to the recipient. Be like the post stamp, my friend. And now, the last framework, Extremely easy to implement, but often brings unexpected insights that will help you with your goals. It's called Life Quality Tracker, introduced by Sergey Faldin, and it's really extremely simple. If you look at your life, it's actually how you spend your days. So instead of asking yourself, what do I want to do with my life? You ask yourself, how do I want to spend my days? This makes you think about yourself on a different level. Now, you create a spreadsheet with 8 columns: date, day quality, bedtime, wake up time, sleep hours, deep work, exercise, what I did. Day quality has a range of numbers from -2 to +2, where -2 is awful and +2 is great. This is strictly emotional. So you just notice how you felt about the day. You later use it to sort the days and draw conclusions. Sleep hours. It's calculated by subtracting bedtime from wake up time. Sleeping time is usually an essential factor for productivity and attitude, so you want to monitor it. Deep work. This is the number of hours doing creative work. Your hypothesis could be that more is better, but you might get surprised about this. Exercise. Simple yes or no, without excessive detail. What I did? This is a list of activities during the day, including important highlights, happy moments, stressful experiences, meaningful conversations, and different events. And after a few weeks or months of noting this data, you can sort it by perceived day quality and get conclusions about what your ideal day is. Now, after you have clarity of setting goals, let's move to the second part of what's model action. I'll show you 3 approaches to do this, to take it to another level. 8 días, or I call it add an additional day to your week. In Spanish, 8 días or 8 days refers to the event happening within a week. In English, we are stuck with the mundane 7 days. Now, on Fridays, we usually look back on the past week and think of the upcoming weekend, so it's often a laid back day of the week. For me and my clients, starting the following week on Friday is a game changer. This approach sets the tone for the upcoming week and also transforms Fridays from casual to crucial. It brings less uncertainty. Imagine driving with clear signs during road work. It's less frustrating because you know what's coming. That's Friday planning for you. It brings you mental prep. Your subconscious starts tackling tasks while you enjoy the weekend. Sneaky, right? So start planning on Fridays and you'll feel like you've unlocked the mythical 8 day. Uh, the next approach to promote action is what I call fail forward fast or a screw up framework. Imagine you're a door-to-door salesman. Usually, your goal would be to sell 1 to 10 articles every day. And it's frustrating if you don't fill your quota. Uh, Now, let's change your perspective and the goal. Let's say the goal is to get 20 no's, or as many no's that you need to get to your quota. With this slightly shift, with the same exact outcome, everything becomes easy. Or you can imagine you plan to go to the gym, but you're not in the mood. It happens to me often. Then I just grab my gears and go, thinking I'll just go there, change, make a circle, and go back home again. Don't think of When I get there, I'll do more than just one circle and finish. No, really think of just going there, change, and change back. Uh, One fitness trainer in our gym had a client, an obese woman. When they started about a year ago, he would put her on a treadmill at an extremely slow pace for 5 minutes, and then he would send her home. I asked him why, and his answer was, because I don't want her to train the body first, but her mind. She's going to become a person that goes to the gym 3 times a week, and I'm making it as easy for her as possible. That's all you need to become a person who takes action towards your goals deliberately and regularly. The amount of action is not that important as it compounds. Consistency is the key. But there's a trap, and that leads us to my last trick, and it's to set weekly, not daily goals. I know I'm not going to work out every day, so why torture myself? But I know I can run 10 kilometers and do 200 push ups every week. So, to make it easier for you, measure your progress weekly. Now, I'll give you another hack nobody's telling you. Uh, when I was explaining the Ocho Dias concept, I suggested planning for next week on Friday. But there's another hack I use to review the past and plan for the future better. I step into the mindset of my personal coach. I zoom out of my running problems and think of the big picture. And I think, if I were my client and I was a coach, what would I advise myself? You know how they say you don't learn new things by reading, but by doing? Well, this is another step. You learn even better by teaching. In this case, teaching yourself how to run your life and business. And of course, here you got a lot of new information, and I know you will not put it in action. How do I know? Because I've been in the same situation countless of times. That's why I created a 21-day challenge. It'll be between May 12th and June 1st. And if you're interested to put everything we have gone through today in action and get another real life examples and advice on your problems and setting goals, just send me a mail with subject 21-day challenge to Robert at Progress Guru, and we'll talk. Thank you.